Welcome to an Ielts Academic Reading Band 9 lesson. Today we are going to make out the book of Ielts Cambridge 19s, the test 1, reading passage 1, under the title How Tennis Rackets Have Changed. And today you have learned new vocabulary, new phrases, and we will solve all together all the detailed questions with answers and explanation. So let's get started. We do have the reading passage, the whole reading passage you will find on an IELTS Cambridge 19th book. So today, right now, we are going to read in passage 1 how tennis rackets have changed. So first, we need to look for our statement. On the whole, we do have 7 questions. Let's get started with the first one. People had expected Andy Murray to become the world's top tennis player for at least 5 years before 2016. So as you see here, that's the false information. But how we could find this location? So let's go to our previous slide with the reading. So here it is, you can see highlighted keywords and phrases. So we can find Andy Murray, that's the name with the surname. That's very essential for us to find out names and surnames. Then we need to go to our year, 2016. But don't forget, on our statement, we do have for at least 5 years before 2016. So in 2016, it's not work for us. So we need to go directly at the end of the first paragraph. Yet, 5 years previously, that's our keywords and paraphrasing words for at least 5 years before. Before, that means previously. Okay. He had been regarded as a talented outsider who entered but never won the major tournaments. Here had been regarded, and here people had expected. So that's contradiction. Let's go further. Second, the change that Andy Murray made to his rackets attracted a lot of attention. Once again, that's the false information. But how is that? Let's go to our second paragraph. Here again, Murray and Murray and the change. So another change was so subtle as to pass more or less unnoticed. More or less, not a lot of attention. Like many players, Murray has long preferred a racket that consists of two types of string, one for the main verticals and another for the crosses horizontals. So that's another change, not the change. And more or less, not a lot of attention made to his rackets. So that's the false information. Definitely. Let's go further. Third, Most of the world's top players take a professional racket stringer on tour with them. That's not given information. Here we do have the sentences that is mentioned. Touring professionals have their rackets customized to their specific needs. Then we can say that the rackets they use now weigh more than the average model and also have a denser string pattern. It has more crosses and mains. So nothing belongs to any of the world's top players. So it's not here highlighted or mentioned anywhere in this passage that players take a professional racket stringer with them on tour. So in our third paragraph, a professional racket stringer, Colin Triplow, talks about some facts regarding racket customization. So we need to leave this statement with the not given information. Let's go further for the fourth. Here, Mike and Bob Bryan use rackets that are light in comparison to the majority of rackets. Again, false information. So Mike and Bob Bryan, we can see here that's very evident. And let's go at the end of this paragraph. The rackets they use now weigh more than the average model, more than, and also have a denser string pattern. It has more crosses and mains. So here, that's not light in comparison to the majority of rackets. It means rackets were heavier, not lighter than average racket models. Let's go further with the fifth. So, Werner Fischer played with spaghetti strung racket that he designed himself. That's again not given information. Anyway, we do have the information here regarding Werner Fischer. Let me read for you. Racket modifications mainly date back to the 1970s when the amateur German tennis player Werner Fischer started playing with the so-called spaghetti strung racket. Actually, no information about he made this racket by himself. So the answer is definitely not given. Let's go further with the sixth statement. The weather can affect how professional players adjust the strings on their rackets. That's the true information. We found the location here previous last sentence of this paragraph. They will continually change it depending on various factors, including the court surface, climatic conditions, and game styles. So that information is true because this sentence indicates that professional players adjust their racket strings according to climate conditions, meaning they adapt to the weather. Therefore, the weather affects the string adjustments. And that's why the answer is true. And the final statement 7. It was believed that the change Pete Sampras made to his rackets contributed to his strong serve. That's the true information. Let's go to our location of the reading paragraph. For example, much of the serving power of United States professional player Pete Sampras was attributed to the addition of 4 to 5 lead weights strong serve onto his rackets. And today, many professionals have the weight again strong adjusted during the manufacturing process. So here, contributed to, attributed to, that's the keywords here, and paraphrasing words. So you need to pay particular attention to the paraphrasing words as well. So that's all for this session. Test 1, reading passage 1 to get a higher band score for your IELTS exam. So stay tuned and keep in touch for our next session.